What's up? What's up? It's your man Jimmy Chan. All right, so we're talking about points, lines, planes, and angles. So, as a point being said, it's literally a point. Now we take that point and stretch it to opposite directions, either left or right, or north or south, and east or west, or southeast and west. However you stretch it, you will stretch it out to be lines. Well, there's different types of lines. If it's just going to go on forever to left and right, those are actual lines, right? In terms of that order, when you name them, it could be A, B, or B, A. That part doesn't matter, all right? Including if it's a line segment, meaning if you cut off, and take a segment of the line, you can also name it A, B, or B, A. All right, so that part doesn't really matter. Now, the only part that's missing here, however, is that the labeling of those 2 points, A, B. So let's go and duplicate this and bring this over and actually name those 2 points. That will make more sense there. All right, now, what if you only cut one side off? Well, there's a half line, but if you notice that there is an open circle here, so it's only a half line, but this order actually matters. It has to go from A to B because after B it continues on. So that's why it has to be in that order. If you say BA, then it's assuming that that arrow should be on this side, which it isn't. All right. An array, same thing, except this is going to be a closed circle. That means it's just truncated or a segment with one end that is going to go on forever. But that order also matters because, again, after B, it goes on forever. All right, so those are called rays. All right, now those are the points and lines. In terms of planes, so essentially a point becomes a line because you're taking that point and you're stretching it in one direction. So now that you have a line and you were to stretch that line out, meaning in the 90-degree angle. So if I was to stretch the line from east to west, now if I take that line and stretch it from north to south, it's almost like that window shade that you suction cup to the window, right? And then you pull the shade down because it starts off with as a line segment in that case, and then when you pull the shade down, it becomes a plane. Okay, so basically it's going to be a flat piece of paper, but imagine that piece of paper going on forever, left to right and up and down. That would be called a plane. All right. In terms of angles, well, here is a simply drawn angle, right? Now, to name the parts of this, what we need to know is that BC is a ray, BA is a ray. B here, notice this in red, that is a vertex, okay? So that's naming the parts of this angle that's drawn. However, we want to name this angle where that, one is, then we need to know how to name this angle. We can call it angle 1. If that one wasn't labeled, you're welcome to make that arc and say, I'm calling this 1, I'm calling this 3, I'm calling this angle 27, and you can call it angle 27, all right? Now, if the letters are done here, remember the B is the vertex, okay? B is the vertex, so therefore the angle is right here with B. So you can call it angle B as well. Now, if you're going to name that angle with the sides here or the points here, then you have to make sure that the vertex is in the center. So CBA. So if you say CBA, I draw CBA and I mark, I can see this angle. Or ABC, I can mark this angle. But if I do CAB, well, that would be this angle here, which there's not a line there to make an angle, all right? So that's how you would name the angle, all right? So obviously we have different types of angles. We have angles that are less than 90 degrees. Those are acute. Angles that are greater than 90 degrees, those are obtuse, angles that actually create 90 degrees, that is a right angle. And then if the angle creates a straight line, we call it a straight angle. I know, very creative name of an angle that creates a straight line. We call it a straight angle. All right. Now, there's two other types. Since if we have two angles that add up to 90 degrees, those are called complementary angles. So they're complements of each other because they add up to 90 degrees. And of course, your question is, what if they add up to 180 degrees, right? Well, there is such a thing. And since these two angles add up to 180 degrees, they are supplementary. So supplementary means 180. Complementary means they are 90, okay? It's always the right angle that gives you the right complements, or they complement you the best way, right? Now, there's always these parallel lines intersected by a transversal. I know it's very confusing of which one is the transversal and which one are the parallel lines, JK. So I marked it down. The blue of the parallel lines are the blue lines here, and the transversal is in red, so I have the transversal in red. Now it creates a bunch of angles here, in fact 8 of them here, and notice how I marked them. Some are larger, some are smaller. Now all the large angles are congruent, all right? All the small ones are congruent, and if you have a small and a large one, they are supplementary. All right. Wow, what a great concept, because it does create a straight line. Now, they have special names. So one is called vertical angles, right? Vertical angles are angles that are opposite of each other. So like 1 and 4 are vertical angles. 2 and 3 are vertical angles. 5 and 8 are vertical. 6 and 7 are vertical. Okay, those are called vertical angles, and they are equal to each other. Corresponding angles, meaning if I was to cut this off right here and pick this up and bring it over on top of this, right? So let's say I do that. Let's just pretend I cut this off, and I'm going to take this whole thing here and I stack it on top of each other, right? You can see that the 6 has now laid onto the 2, the 5 has laid onto the 1, the 7 has laid onto the 3, and the 8 has laid onto the 4. Those are corresponding angles. So I said 6 and 2, and you see it right here, 6 and 2, right? And then I said, ooh, took too much. So, and then I said 5 and 1, and you see the 5 and 1 right here, right? And then I said 4 and 8, you see the 4 and 8, 7 and 3, you see the 3 and 7, okay? So therefore you have that, all right? So let's go ahead and put this back together so that it looks normal again. Okay, so those are called corresponding. So if you take one and stack on the other, then whatever lays on top of each other are corresponding. Those corresponding angles are also equal. Now let's talk about the alternate interior angles. Alternate meaning opposite sides of the transversal, right? So this side versus this side, right? Alternate. This side versus this side. Interior, meaning within the parallel lines, okay? So opposite sides, but inside. Not, I don't compare this with this. It's this one with this one. So it's alternate sides of the transversal, but yet interior, okay? So 3 and 6 are alternate interior angles, so it's 4 and 5. As you can see, that's what I wrote right here. And they are equal as well. And then of course, since we have alternate interior angles, we also have alternate exterior angles. So same thing, alternate meaning opposite sides of the transversal, but now it's an exterior. That means I'm outside the parallel lines. So 2 and 7 are alternate exterior. 8 and 1 are alternate exterior, and those are also equal angles. So, as I was saying before, in terms of supplementary, 1 and 2 are supplementary because if you add those two angles together, it'll give you a straight line. 2 and 4 are supplementary because that's going to create a straight line. 3 and 4 is going to create a straight line. 1 and 3 is going to create a straight line. 6 and 8, 7 and 8, 7 and 5, 5 and 6. Those are going to create straight lines for you, so therefore they are supplementary. All right? So let's do a couple examples because they might give you drawings like this and saying, hey, so this angle right here is 40 degrees. What is angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3, right? Well, look at this. This right here, this symbol right here tells you that that this line here and this line here forms a 90 degree. So in other words, angle 1 plus 40 degrees are going to be complementary, which means it's going to give you 90 degrees, okay? Because of what I see right here, that means this side must also be 90 degrees. So now I know that angle 1 is going to equal to 50 degrees. So this is equal to 50 degrees. Awesome. Now, if you notice, what else do we know? Is that angle 1 and angle 3 are what? They are vertical angles. Or angles, right? So what I know is that angle 1 is equal to angle 3. So since angle 1 is 50, then angle 3 must also be 50 degrees. Okay? Well, how about angle 2? Well, angle 2 and that right angle, or I could even say that, hey, the 40 degrees plus angle 1 plus angle 2 would give me 180 degrees because they draw a straight line. So, therefore, I can say that I have the 40 degrees plus angle 1 is 50 degrees. Actually, let me do it this way because we wrote it in red. So 50 degrees plus angle 2 is going to give you 180. So if I solve for angle 2 here, guys, angle 2 is going to be a 90 degrees. And in case if you guys wonder how I got the 90, is that the 40 plus the 50 gives you 90. And then I have to subtract that 90 away from the other side, which gives me 90. So angle 2 is going to be 90 degrees. So there's my angle 1. My angle 3, and my angle 2. All right? So let's take a look at the next example. The next example is pretty interesting. All right? So let's take a look here. So we have this right here. So let's take a look. So what I see is that I see that this angle is 25 degrees. I need to figure out what angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3 are. And this right here shows me that this line here and this line here form a 90 degrees. And this line on bottom and this line on top are parallel lines. So with that being said, what I know is that 25 degrees and the angle 1 are corresponding angles. Okay, since they're corresponding angles, they're equal to each other. So angle 1 must equal to 25 degrees. So this is equal to 25 degrees. Excellent. Now, angle 1 plus angle 2, well, that is going to be complementary because they form 90 degrees. So if angle 1 is already 25 degrees, So if I subtract the 25 over, what's angle 2 going to be? Let's take a look. It's going to be, you're right, 65 degrees. Okay? So angle 2 is 65 degrees. So what about angle 3? Look at angle 3, guys. If you notice, what do you notice? That angle 1 plus angle 3 are supplementary. So this forms 180 degrees. So let's go and write that out here. That's not great writing. Supplementary. And up here, let's write down complementary. Okay, because that's what forms 90. This is 180. Well, guess what, guys? We have angle 1 to be 25 degrees plus angle 3 is going to equal 180 degrees. What's angle 3 going to be? So I got to subtract that 25 over, right? So that's going to give me that angle 3 is going to be 155 degrees. All right? So this is going to be 155. All right? So there's all my angles. So here's angle 3. Here's angle 2. And here is angle 1. So I hope that helps you guys. If there's any questions, please let me know. Talk to you later. See ya. Bye.